for your support. It is now my pleasure to introduce a very special individual who, following the tragedy of losing her father unexpectedly, changed her life and took the helm at Homes for Veterans to continue his passion and purpose, helping our veterans. Francesca Palla.
What many people, I think, don't realize is that only 7% of our population are made up of veterans, and then 1% of that population are post 9/11 veterans, and then 60% of veterans are related to a member of their family that also served. And so in exchange for that, they're supposed to be compensated by the government and government-funded programs to reacclimate. And so they put these barriers in place, and they prioritize either very low-income veterans, or they prioritize addicted veterans, or they prioritize combat injured veterans. Even if they fall within these categories, actually, they still sometimes have trouble getting help. I'm sure that many of you here, you might have relatives or friends or parents that have served in Vietnam or Desert Storm, or maybe you yourself served in one of these. You may not be able to function as well as you used to. Maybe you can't walk as well as you used to, and you are in a lot of pain. So something like stepping over the bathtub becomes very difficult. And so, yes, you may not be low income according to the IRS, but you may not have $15,000 to redo your bathroom. So the government might say, we'll help low-income people, but then you're stuck. And I'm not just making this up. This is actually a project that we're working on. This is Leslie Shields' story. We've also been working on a project for William Shields. They actually happen to have the last name, and they're not related, but he needs a ramp done. And a tree is growing in his front yard. It's picking up the whole front yard, and he can't even walk inside his house. He lives alone. So he's fallen walking into his own home. Now the VA sent him a motor scooter because he has trouble walking, so the VA sent him a motor scooter, but he can't roll it up the driveway. Besides the physical problems that our veterans are facing, they're facing a lot of mental problems as well. They come back and they have severe PTSD, severe anxiety. Now we're getting better at recognizing it, but like with Leslie, they didn't even know. They weren't dealing with it at all. I had the pleasure of working with Stephen Graham. He was in Indiana, and he is a quadriplegic, and this email says it all. He said, I look around and I, again, forget my post-traumatic stress. I'm inspired to live in my home. We redid his kitchen. He was being taken care of by his niece. His niece had children, a full-time job, she was a student, and he lost all of his medical records in a fire. He actually was in a car accident, so he wasn't a combat injured veteran, and Dennis can talk to you about this. When you're not a combat injured veteran, it's so much harder to get help from the VA. This is how he was living, in this kind of a kitchen. So we did a wheelchair accessible floor, we did the wheel under sink, we gave him a pot filler. That was something that they needed, really simple, and it just made his life easier. But again, it's an expensive renovation because he's paying his health care out of his pocket. Our female veterans. The next project that we'll do after we finish William and Leslie Shields is we're going to work on Amanda. Wounded Warriors actually reached out to us about Amanda, and our goal this year was to work with more female veterans, and this is why. Not only are returning women nearly 4 times as likely than men to become homeless, but they also report having more sexual trauma than men, and that causes them to have, again, more mental illness. They make up 10% of the military population, but it's expected to grow to 17% by 2040, so we need to address our female vets, and they're not asking for help. So when we found out about Amanda, that was something that we wanted to address. And Amanda has an incredible story, and she needs an elevator. It's just really important to recognize that our veterans are not always fully injured in combat. They come home and they're dealing with a lot of other things, and they get injured for a lot of other reasons, and it's our responsibility as a community to recognize that. And our government can't always handle the amount of injuries that are coming in. And we can't always just say, oh, the government's going to handle it. And a lot of people would say that Amanda is actually one of the lucky ones. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and they are successful. So it's just a whole another issue that we're trying to solve. Another hot topic right now is the veterans that have been suffering due to water contamination at Camp Lejeune. So I'm sure many of you have heard about the PACT Act. So everybody was really excited because the PACT Act was passed. We actually worked with Mr. Rodriguez, and he was suffering from liver cancer because he used the water at Camp Lejeune. 1 million veterans used the contaminated drinking water between 1952 and 1987, and the military denied their responsibility for over 20 years, And now with the passing of the PACT Act, many of the veterans and their families will have better health care. But as you can see, this feels a little late. Mr. Rodriguez, he was a Marine, he was training in 1977, and he was exposed to the drinking water. Now, 44 years later, he's diagnosed with liver cancer. We redid his bathroom because he is having trouble, again, stepping over the bathtub, but we did this before the PACT Act was passed. He originally was denied health benefits from the VA. For 4 years, they reapplied and reapplied and reapplied, so he wasn't getting any health benefits until he was fully diagnosed with cancer, but he was very sick. Another hot topic that's become extremely all over the news is the burn pits. Last year, we helped a veteran. His name is Matthew Wetnall. He has stage 4 cancer, metastatic, which spread from his lungs to his brain, and that was from the burn pits. But at this time, a year ago, when this news story ran, the VA denied any connection from his cancer to the burn pits. So they were paying most of their medical bills from their pocket.
But getting help from the federal government is proving to be a new kind of warfare. The Department of Veterans Affairs says it is studying burn pits and potential long-term health effects. But right now, the agency doesn't acknowledge a connection.
And organizing and structuring every bit of detail that I need to know who can help.
The family's kitchen table, now the command center for this whole new conflict.
My priority is, longevity. I want to be here for my family, and we have plans, and I have a life that I want to be a part of.
Now, the VA did not respond to our request for an interview for this story. They didn't answer me at all.
They wanted us to rip up their rugs because he was having a problem with his asthma, and I don't even know if that's something that they would cover in general, so it was an easy project for us to do just for some relief. My dad truly believed that our veterans deserved care no matter how they were injured or where they served or what their story was, and that was, when he started to learn more, that was where our mission came from. So that's my dad, and this is one of our first veterans, Kyle, that we helped, and this is some pictures of my dad, and basically my dad was just a true patriot, and he loved our veterans and he loved our servicemen, and he wanted to give back in his own way. My dad wasn't a vet, he didn't serve, and both my grandpas were in World War II, and I think that my dad always kind of wanted to figure out how he can give back. And I was raised as a true patriot. I always was raised to love my nation and to never take my freedom for granted. So my dad started this organization with that goal, was to this was his way to give back, and this was his way, because he didn't serve, to give back and to serve. That's my dad. And this is my mom, and my mom is our vice chair, and this is my brother, and we did a lot of COVID. My mom is here, by the way, she's right here. When the pandemic happened and I lost my dad to COVID very tragically, I lost my dad in the very beginning of COVID when the pandemic was really, really bad. I decided to pick up the organization right away, and we didn't want to do away with it, and we didn't want to go into the homes of veterans when things were really bad, so I started to do the COVID care packages, and we ordered a lot of items and we were dropping them off, and we still do the drop-offs. We still do quite a few drop-offs. But in the beginning, we were doing really big drop-offs to the local veterans' homes in Jersey and stuff like that, and so that's how we were continuing. But my dad was just really passionate about helping, middle-class veterans that were not, eliminating barriers. You get me on the phone, get my mom and my brother on the phone, and not having them wait on long lists, and we're really trying to eliminate this wait list and get things done as quickly as possible. That's our goal. So if you want to make a donation or just find out information, we've done over 100 projects. You can check out our website. It's homesforveterans.us. It's really easy to get involved. It's really easy to see the impact. These videos are, that you make a donation, you can see exactly where it's going and exactly what project we're working on. So if that's what you want to do, go to the website, you can check it out, and it's really easy to see. And I'm here, you can ask me any questions that you'd like. But again, thank you all so much for coming. It means the world to me. And thank you, Ed, again. Thank you, Liz. And I want to also, we are here to honor Dennis, like I said, because he knew my dad, and he has really been a catalyst. He knows so many people, and he's really connected us to a lot of projects, and he gives me lots of information, and he's just been amazing. So we wanted to honor Dennis, so we do have an award.
He's a veteran rock star.
He is a veteran rock star. Honestly, though, that is a really good way to describe it. So we have this beautiful plaque, so if Dennis can come up so I can award you, I'm so happy to do this. And Dennis is actually a recipient of our program, so if you could just please say a few words because I'd be honored. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful and amazing.
Thank you. So my name's Dennis. I'm the commander of Rochelle Park American Legion, Post 170, New Jersey. I'm also District 1 Department Vice Commander for the state of New Jersey for the American Legion. I met Doug in 2017. I wrote this down, but I don't need to, so I'm going to wing it, okay? I'm a 100% disabled vet. I'm supposed to walk with a cane. In 2008, I broke my neck pre-deploying to Iraq. I walked around for 8 months with a broken neck. Didn't know I had a broken neck. I would fall over at that time while changing my 5-month-old diaper, be paralyzed. Wait about 10-15 minutes, it would come back. The whole right side was done. On my way to a medical holding unit, because I was no good to the Army anymore, so I couldn't be deployed. On my way to a holding unit, I swerved out of the way of a dead deer carcass in the road. I had a spinal stroke where my spine was going like this. Made it to a hospital. The doctor told me I'm lucky to be alive. They lost my paperwork 5 times on purpose. I will stick to this. I will say it for whatever. I'm no good to them. They threw me away like a common piece of street trash. Fast forward, I was in a wheelchair. I was in a medically induced coma. I had to learn how to walk unassisted. Like I said, I am supposed to walk with a cane. Today's a good day. It's in the truck. I met Doug in 2017 because the VA gave me a lot of red tape and a lot of BS on why I can't have home adaptive equipment in my home. Well, they'll get me a new set of steps, but they won't give me a shower. Well, they'll give me a new driveway, but they won't give me a shower. So Doug came in, I met him, and I told him about all the things that I can do. I'm a veteran service officer, or should I say a service officer for the American Legion. And I had to go through and get my own benefits by myself with no help from anybody else. I refused to let that happen again. So now I help advocate for veterans. Even though I served, I don't feel I deserve anything. There are those who feel that they served and they deserve the world. But you get what you earn. You know, if you give respect, you get respect. So the pandemic started. Then Doug passed away. I think I gave it, about 3 weeks before I called you? Well, I called you every day.
Yeah.
I said, listen, you need to keep this program going. I'll do whatever I can do. Went to church, promised Doug that I would always be by her side and her family's side. I actually call her little one all the time. And I won't leave her side. So there are a lot more guys like me who didn't deploy, who have PTSD, who feel like they went from hero to zero. Because you have the whole world in front of you, and then all of a sudden, like that, it's gone. You have to readapt, you have to reacclimate. It's not easy. I tried taking my life twice. The American Legion saved my life. I actually have somebody who just stopped me. I had filled up my gas tank with gas. We went to a bike night, and I was going to ride it into oncoming traffic. Veterans helping veterans gave me purpose. So I will never stop, just like she'll never stop. So when Homes for Veterans helps veterans, they actually help family, my family. So we're not just an organization, we actually became a family. We are a family, we're going to stay a family. So please, if you know anybody who needs something, hit us up. If you know anybody who doesn't need anything but has money laying around and they want to donate it, donate it, because I'm not going anywhere, neither is she, and we have a lot more veterans that need help that can't go through the red tape or can afford the red tape. So thank you for this. This means a lot. And on a brighter note, just so you know how family-oriented we are, I met my fiance through Homes for Veterans because we helped her dad, who was a Korean War veteran who needed a new stand-up shower. So, and we just got engaged yesterday. So. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much. Please eat, and please, again, Unyan Mezcal and Garrison Brothers donated. Please have a drink and please eat. Thank you so much. Thank you.